Welcome inside, everyone. 93 degrees outside, wind blowing in as we welcome you to the NCAA Men's College World Series. It is presented by Capital One. The LSU Tigers snapped that streak that Coastal Carolina was on, a 26-game win streak. Coastal Carolina, though, well, what they got to do is win 2 in a row, and relatively speaking, that's light lifting. On the other side, LSU, they've been in this position so many times before, 7 in fact. And they have pulled it off 7 times. When you were 1 win away, you are looking to pick up your 8th World Series title. These guys won it back in 2016. And my goodness, 2 wins in a row relative to 2 months in a row of winning. It's not a huge task, and they do have their ace going today. You take a look at the 8 teams that made it here, and let's give a shout out to Murray State and their head coach Dan Skirka, who picks up a 4-year extension as he got the Racers to the promised land here in Omaha. So we look forward to seeing Dan and the Murray State team back here again in the near future. That, of course, is Chris Burke, Kyle Peterson, and down on the field is Chris Budden. You heard Budden during the pregame show talk about Coastal's approach. They went over to Creighton to hit. Is that how they get their offense going?
Yeah, they got to come up with a big hit tonight. They had plenty of opportunities, 10 base runners. They had 7 free passes, but nobody was able to get that clutch hit. If they're going to win this one, somebody's got to be the hero today with that offense.
The question's going to be, who is going to be that hero on the offensive side? Jacob Morrison, of course, is on the mound. He's one way to stop LSU.
Yeah, he should be a first-team All-American this year. Jacob Morrison has been incredibly consistent. About 12-0, tied for 3rd in the country. And a stuff arsenal will show you a few different things. It's a mid-90s fastball, 2 different breaking balls. We'll throw a changeup every once in a while, but the cutter was so important against Oregon State. I think it will be here. They were hitless against it, and in the postseason, when he throws strike 1, and he's done it a lot.
Yeah.
21 out of 28 times against Oregon State. Teams are hitting about $160. Morrison is a strike thrower and has been a race all year.
And he instills a lot of confidence. The last 15 times he started, they've won the game. Meantime, LSU's formula is pretty simple. It's worked forever in baseball. Timely hitting, good pitching, good defense.
Yeah, and your stars have to show up, right? And for LSU, that's the story of their postseason. The stars have certainly performed that way. Jared Jones got hot and carried them to this postseason with clutch hit after clutch hit, including a walk-off winner to beat Arkansas. And then Cade Anderson could be the #1 pick in the draft, certainly pitched like it, and the defense supported him. Michael Braswell was outstanding at third base. The Tigers were flawless on defense, and their ace pitched them 1 win away from their 8th national championship.
Well, the coaching mark for the LSU Tigers, looking for their 2nd title in 3 years, 8 years between your 1st and 2nd win. Jay Johnson's trying to do it in just 3 years. When we come back, Chris Budden on wearing the purple and gold and whether history saves you a spot or not.
Welcome back to the Men's College World Series. Back in Baton Rouge at the LSU baseball facility, their meeting room is dubbed the Omaha Room. On one wall, you see the map of 905 miles from Baton Rouge here to Charles Schwab. On the back wall, you have the 7 national championship trophies hanging there, hoping that 1 win away from needing another shelf for #8.
LSU is a storied program. There's a lot of guys on the team that have put in so much hard work, and we've stuck together through it all, and we're super motivated.
Obviously, it's what I came here for, so it would mean the world plus more.
For us to go out with a national championship, we earned it. That would be something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. That's all fans talk about in Baton Rouge is just adding another title. Coach always says they don't remember you unless you win a national championship, so he wants his team to be remembered.
This isn't something that caught us by surprise. We knew we were meant to be here, ready to go out there and compete and bring home #8.
Jay Johnson, a man about the details, made sure after 2023 that by the time the team got back to Baton Rouge, when they went in that room, #8 and the trophy and the signage was already ready to go. So equipment staff better be ready if they get a dub today.
Yeah, they are on call. And how about Budden there? Locked in like an owl in spite of the people walking in front of her. She was laser focused. Take a look at the LSU batting order. It's brought to you by Capital One. And for the Tigers, they got them early. They did it in the 1st inning yesterday.
Yeah, they've been playing great all NCAA tournament in the 1st and 2nd innings. Yesterday was Milam with the big hit that ended up being the game winner.
There's a race, and this is the one that has been so consistent for Coastal the entire year. Jacob Morrison, all 6'8" of him. It's a strike machine. It's a fastball into the low 90s. The cutter is the one to watch because it really has been his best. You can see how good it was against Oregon State, and that ultimately the outcome was even better. Against Oregon State, 7 2/3, gave up just 1 run, did not walk anyone, struck out 7.
Tommy John surgery 2 years ago to the day, and he remembers it. That memory and that date etched into his mind. 6/22/23. He remembers watching Skeens and Louder in the College World Series and burying a McAllister's potato spud. That's what he remembers. And now here he is on the mound, trying to save the Coastal season. He'll get Curiel, Ethan Fry, and Stephen Milam to start. Not his regular routine to keep the glove over the ear, but he's just waiting to make sure he got the right pitch call, and it was a fastball in there for a strike. A very engaging guy is Morrison, easy to talk to, funny, self-deprecating, comes from an athletic family.
Ball that's inside.
Dad was a fullback at Central Michigan. His older sister played volleyball at Wayne State. His mom, basketball, Saginaw Valley State.
Yeah,
Yep.
you win.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There was that cutter, first and many you're going to see today, and it's not maybe what you would typically think of as a cutter. The shape is more like a slider, but mentally he calls it a cutter, can add depth to it like he did right there, especially the lefties.
And he got him with an up one, and it's now 1 strikeout. Great start for Jacob Morrison. Well, there is Kevin Schnall. We talk about athletic families. His dad was a football coach, a member of the New York Giants when Parcells and Belichick were there. First-year guy, got his team to the finals, and 6 others now. He joins the list of 6 that have done it. The previous 5, including Jay Johnson, lost in the finals. Ethan Fry now up.
Kevin Schnall was the first ever All-American at Coastal, 1999. Big South Player of the Year. Most of his coaching career has been at Coastal Carolina, but leads the country in wins in his first year at the helm.
Into the shift. That's Barthel. He backs up. He's got time, and Fry is out. He was a catcher, and he got hit by a lot of pitches. One of the things you'll see, and we'll talk about when Coastal comes up, they've been bonked 178 times by pitches, which is the Division I record. He said, I never moved. I don't want my guys to move.
No, and he kind of keeps it that simple. No catchphrases, just we're not going to move, and that's a staple. And gosh, 178 for an offense that can be non-traditional in how they produce runs. One thing they do well, run prevention. Tough to score against this squad.
Defense straight away against Milam, who's been a hitting machine in the tournament. First pitch is buried, ball 1. 25 RBIs or runs scored in the NCAA tournament. And there are the numbers on the screen. They fed him a whole bunch of fastballs yesterday. He delivered the big hit up the middle. That was the only run of the game.
He was also about, I don't know, 3-4 inches from a homer off the top of the right field wall, too. So Milam continuing to do what he's done the last couple years in purple and gold, which is produce in the postseason.
You saw mom and dad there. They call Monster Milam. During the Baton Rouge Super Regional against West Virginia, he carried the team, and he just watches one right there to go 2 balls and a strike. I guess if you put on the uniform, you have to love the big moment, and he declares, that's what I'm after.
He's got the right heartbeat for it, that's for sure.
Out of Las Cruces, New Mexico is Milam. A 4-year batting average in high school of .513. He watched Alex Bregman growing up. First grunt we heard.
LSU having 2 shortstops from New Mexico. 2 pretty good ones.
Both of them pretty good.
Yeah, that's a nice pipeline.
One followed in the footsteps of the other. Like if Bregman can do it, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Bregman currently hurt for the Red Sox, but was off to a phenomenal start in Boston. And he's watching this one for sure. On a 2-2 from Morrison. Nope, 3-2. This one is playable, but it's in a place very few can get to, and it's a fair ball. The wind is blowing. Sebastian Alexander was late to get there, and if you could see it falling fair, it was likely going to be a hit because Mitchell and Dooley all converged, and Alexander got there late.
He's playing deep, but guys, this is not a real aggressive run, am I right? Like, it never looks like the gas pedal's down right there. You want to see your left fielder. This ball, you got to know with the wind, this ball's going away from your third baseman and shortstop. And then the other thing for me, KP, is Milam going all the way here? Like, this feels like a double, is it not?
Yeah, it absolutely should have been a double.
He never hits the gas.
Foul or exactly what it was, but and that wind's going to take it further to the line right there.
Well, the series and so many games have been decided by the little things. Plays at shortstop, and that's one of those little things where if Brown gets a single, instead of it being 1-0, it's still likely going to be 0-0.
Yeah, it feels like a miss on both sides.
Yep.
Alexander doesn't own that baseball the way you'd want your corner outfielder to own that ball. And then Milam, for whatever reason, just gets caught watching the baseball instead of hunting a double. That really changes things here with 2 outs.
Jacob Morrison won't overpower you with 98 miles an hour, but post-surgery, it took a little while for him to get back to his strength. They were a little concerned, and then all of a sudden he kind of locked it in, and since then, early part of the season, he's been unbeatable on a 1-2.
Ball.
Missed up top.
His velocity in fall ball was mid to upper 80s.
Right.
Which is not abnormal from guys that are coming back from Tommy John, but what you don't know at that point is it going to take to jump back to where we think it would be? That last fastball 95, and he's averaged right about 92, 93 miles an hour, so that fastball has come back.
Great pitch right there. He is gone. Morrison coming off the mound after a big strikeout there. He gives up a hit. Coastal tries to get their offense going in a must-win game. ESPN's presentation of the Men's College World Series on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Coastal Carolina, you can see the frustration. They didn't play Chance baseball. They had some runners on. They couldn't move him in as a result. Yesterday, their first loss since April 22nd. Again, hard to wrap your head around. They haven't lost a game since April 22nd. No back-to-back losses since March 22 and 23. 3 times this year, they have lost 2 games in a row. As we take a look at the Coastal Carolina batting order brought to you by Capital One. Berkey kind of alluded to what you see in the bottom left of that screen in the open.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to come up with the big hit? The opportunities were there to win that ball game, and nobody was able to deliver on the big stage. That is definitely the theme in this ball game. Coastal's got to cash in.
Anthony Ianson has been about as good as anybody in the country this year. 3rd in the country in strikeouts, so there's a ton of swing and miss. It's mid-90s with 2 different breaking balls. He may see a few changeups to left-handers, but for the most part, it's a kind of old school top to bottom, slower curveball, and then a slider that he gets the most swing and miss with.
And the team will acknowledge if there's any yellow flags, not red but yellow, it's early in the game. He tends to settle in and get better, especially with his secondary stuff. And he does land that first breaking pitch, important pitch for Ianson against Caden Bodine, the catcher. Hitting just 200, 3 for 15 at the College World Series. This one's going to go out of play.
It feels like if Coastal is going to make a run today, Bodine's got to be in the middle of it somewhere. He wasn't great behind the dish yesterday, and he's been phenomenal all year. It feels like he has to be in the middle of it.
The 0-2 just stays alive. He got hit by a couple of pitches yesterday, and that's become a adventure at the College World Series. Hit by pitches, and whether there's intent to get out of the way or not. He chased one there in the dirt, and how about that filthy pitch from Anthony Ianson to start.
So here's the stuff. We talked about the fastball, get into the mid-90s and maybe a bump more. That last was the slider. That is his best. You'll see the biggest difference between a slider and a curveball. Velocity difference. The curveball is bigger, and the slider's the key, man, when he's got it going. And listen, his last outing here at the College World Series, he only had 1 strikeout. There was not a lot of swing and miss. Now starts it right away with a strikeout at Bodine on the slider.
Sebastian Alexander's the left fielder. Right back up the middle, fielded cleanly. Dickinson, no! Jones couldn't hang on to it. Had he, it looked like they were going to get Alexander.
I like the play here by Danny Dickinson. A really smooth catch and transfer. Watch how quickly he gets rid of this. One step, the ball's out. Guys, it looked like Jared Jones was a little late getting his footwork down, and that one, boy, he's got it in the palm, and it just squeaks out. A tough chance there for the Tiger defense, and not able to finish it off.
No error on the play. They'll give a hit to Alexander to bring up Blake Barthol. Second baseman hitting .256 here in Omaha, .278 on the season. And Alexander's a threat to go. 27 stolen bases on the season. Strike 1 from Ianson. He's a junior. He walked on a few years ago, went to the Coastal camp. As Barthol said, literally everything that could go right did go right. Schnall offered him a walk-on spot. Ianson lands another one to go 0-2.
Feels like Coastal needs to take some chances and steal when they think they're in a curveball count. Like to me, they've only stole 2 bases here at the College World Series, but you get that big slow looper and you feel like you're in a curveball count. That's a good time to try to force the issue.
And this is their best base stealer on first base.
Yep. Fastball at 95, misses up.
I never loved 0-2, 1-2 as a base stealer, but as soon as that thing goes back even, to me, especially with the left-handed hitter who can maybe roll one over in the hole, it's a great time to go.
Another half step on his lead, not going. And a swing and a miss. High velocity 95, second punch out for Ianson.
He can do this to you too. We talked about the 2 breaking balls, but he can take that fastball and elevate when he wants to, especially at a 2-strike count. Add a little bit more velocity to it, just stays right there. 95 from Ianson. First 2 outs of the game are strikeouts.
West Coast kid, Ianson grew up going to UCLA Bruins baseball games. That was the team that he faced, and then there was the rain. Ianson did have the chance to go deep into that one. Alexander leads off for Walker Mitchell, and they throw over. Against the SEC, Ianson, 11 games started. His first 2 against Missouri and at Texas, 4 earned runs in both. But after that, his last 9 games started in the SEC. He gave up a total of 10 earned runs and struck out 75. Alexander off. Throw down. No good.
And that's what you're thinking right there, Ravi. Pick a breaking ball count and be aggressive. And that's exactly what Alexander does right here. Not the best of jumps, but if you're picking a breaking ball, you've got a little more margin, and Alexander steals that one easy on a throw inside the bag.
Well, with Ianson, about every count is potentially a breaking ball count. He throws that curveball, the slider, roughly 50% of the time.
Oh my goodness, he just threw Kevin Schnall out of the game. In the bottom of the first inning, the home plate umpire throws Kevin Schnall out of this game, and down goes an umpire who had come in to get in the middle of things. I believe, guys, this had to do what happened at the end of the top of the first with the third base coach for LSU. This seemed to stem from the first base coach, and then Schnall remarkably gets thrown out of the game. A College World Series game 2 in the bottom of the first.
Well, and I didn't even see that building, guys. Like, it's one pitch, and next thing you know, Schnall's out of the dugout, and Angel Campos had clearly heard enough. That thing escalated quickly.
Again, this will always come back to whatever was said. may have just thrown another one out.
You're still out here. Ask me for a warning. You're still out here. I'm not allowed to ask you for a warning. I know. You're still out here. Why can't I ask you for a warning?
He just threw Matt Schilling out of the game, first base coach.
I think if you look, and we will obviously look back at it, but
all right, stolen base. Nothing going on there. Now he's looking in.
looks like he's asking for a count.
Has he called it a strike? Is that what?
And here. He tells him there to get back, and Schnall doesn't, and then
Matt Schilling up at first baseline. See, Angel Campos is going towards Matt Schilling. Exactly. He didn't like it. And then now he tells Schnall, and boom.
That's an aggressive, guys. That's an aggressive ejection.
That's too quick. It's just too quick. I mean, you can't hear everything that was said, but at the end of the day, that feels too quick to run somebody and then ultimately two right there.
Angel Campos is the name that's familiar in umpiring circles. Had a little major league experience as well, a veteran umpire. But Schnall and the first base coach Schilling have both been ejected from this College World Series game in the bottom of the first inning. And Schnall has emphasized to us the most important coach that he has is Schilling at first base. The most important one. All that with two outs. Walker Mitchell grounds to Braswell at third, and on one pitch they will get out of it. Boy, I've never seen that before. The Coastal Carolina dugout is minus their first base coach, and way more important, their head coach, with 8 innings to play. Well, the backs were already against the wall, but now you're down 2 of your key personnel to help guide you through this thing, including the head coach. You tell me where you guys.
I don't like it.
Right?
I don't like it. We can't hear everything that's said.
Right.
Ultimately, the rule says you can't argue balls and strikes. So if you want to go straight by the rule, then okay. But you never go straight by the rules.
That one is under the glove of the third baseman Mitchell, and stopping there at first base is Jones. Difficult read. Berkey backhand here, you think?
No, I thought he played it the right way. He just didn't get to the ground. So he circles this ball. He was playing close to the line to start with, and he just doesn't get to the ground. The ball gets below his glove right here. The glove's got to get to the dirt, and it doesn't. And the Tigers have a leadoff base runner as Coastal comes up empty on a chance that certainly could have been executed.
Remember Jones last at bat last night, hit the ball hard for the first time all day. It was a ground into a double play, but he did reach with that one. Chad Oxendine is now the acting head coach for the Chanticleers. We'll try to find out exactly what happened beyond what we've already shown and seen. Luis Hernandez jammed.
Well, those fireworks overshadowed the fireworks we had to end the top of the first between LSU's third base coach Josh Jordan and the ace Jacob Morrison. We got a feisty start here, boys.
With base coaches. On the ground, it's a double play ball. Dooley, Barthol, easy. 6-4-3.
So coming off the mound, Jacob Morrison grinds through the top of the first, and as soon as he comes off the mound, he starts pointing at Josh Jordan that he's I think he said he's looking in my glove, and then Josh Jordan makes a point to run right in front of him, and that was an interesting moment, one I haven't seen very often. I guess they don't like where Josh Jordan's positioned, guys. What do you think there, KP?
I think we got gamesmanship all over the place, and I'm all here for it. So often when you think somebody else has your pitches, they don't. But if you think they do, they've accomplished something. So I have no idea. And that's what base coaches are going to do. They're going to try to get in your glove. But I also understand the reaction. I want to make sure that he's where he's supposed to be down at third.
Here you go.
Well, Jacob Morrison doesn't need a lot to spark that fuse.
No.
I mean, he always has it. But it's quite clear when you see your head coach get thrown out of the game and you're already going at it with the third base coach from LSU. He's running warm right now, if not hot. And a little high at 96 miles an hour.
I do think, though, if you're Coastal, given all the craziness that's already happened in this, he's the guy you want on the mound.
Yeah, I can see that.
He is the guy that you want just to settle everybody down, and you can do it.
Liner right there is Colby Thorndike. He's going to have a quick word with a home plate umpire before he comes off the field, still pointing to the third base ump, saying, get in that, the third base coach, get in that coaching box. We're heading to the bottom of the second. It's wild right now.
Welcome back to Omaha. Just moments ago, acting head coach Chad Oxendine pulled the entire team over. He said, I need you guys to settle down because if you get run, you can't help us today. I need you to think about things one pitch at a time. What the other team does, what the other coaching staff does, what the umpires do is not of concern to you. All that matters right now is this game.
Well, that's a great message for sure. Blake and Pato is up. The other question is, and it seems in your minds that not only is Schnall gone for this game, but if there is a game 3, he's also not going to be able to coach. We want to get clarification on that. It feels like, based on the move of the home plate umpire, both coaches are gone for this game and the next game. We'll confirm that from the NCAA here. We're waiting on confirmation. Good pitch. Hyacinth's off to a really good start. He's got 3 strikeouts.
He is leaning on that slider right now, too. Tyler Shoemaker now down at first base. And Kevin Schnall made it a point when we met with him earlier this week to talk about the importance of his first base coach and the fact that he coached first base for a long time and the activity that they can have with base runners during the course of it. So a little different role for Tyler Shoemaker than he's used to.
Oh, that's inside.
Yeah, and it was not a point. I mean, he hammered it home about why that first base ump is so important. He likened it to even more important than the third base ump because he's got more contact with the base runner. He's reading the pitcher. Ooh. His impact is far greater than a third base. Looked like that swing. Well, hitting the helmet of the catcher.
The good news is for Coastal, Tyler Shoemaker was a first base coach at Vanderbilt for a few seasons, so he's got plenty of experience over there. I just think in general, and KP, you said it, there is a lot going on right now in this ballgame, much less the fact that Coastal's got their season on the line, and they've got to settle in. I think Oxendine did a great job, KP, reporting on the team meeting of just, guys, we got to keep our focus on playing the game, and who better to be on the mound in a situation like this than Jacob Morrison.
A lot of play off the bat of Thorndike, so it goes 1-2. Early chaos in this game 2 of this Men's College World Series Finals. Both the head coach, first base coach of Coastal have been thrown out. Have an inquiry into the NCAA. It's it for one or both games on the 1-2. And he's gone. How about Ionson's start here?
He's feeling the slider, gents. He is feeling the slider, and it has a ton of down to it, too, even on that side. A lot of times guys miss on the slider arm side. It doesn't have that kind of late movement down. He's had it both glove side and arm side. 4 strikeouts, 4 of the first 5 outs for Ionson have been strikeouts, and he is pounding the strike zone.
Dean Mijos having a very good College World Series, hitting .353. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, I get Angel Campos not wanting to hear it from the first base coach because generally it's the head coach that you're going to take complaints from. Yeah. But it felt quick with Kevin Schnall, did it not? Like, it's a championship game. You feel like you would let him air it out, right? And I get it. I clearly putting your foot down with first base coach makes sense to me, but it felt like a quick trigger on Schnall.
Yeah, and I do think you have to consider the circumstances. This is not,
Yes.
not a regular season game. This is a College
No.
World Series game. It's the first inning.
There's got to be some gray there.
Yeah.
And I think that there's got to be a little bit more feel, too.
2-1. This one is hit to left field, heading towards the line. Curiel is over there. He leaps and it's gone! Dean Mijos got it up into the wind, and it kept blowing it towards that corner and over the wall to give the Chants an early lead. His 13th of the year and Coastal's first of the World Series.
That'll help the boys recenter themselves on what's going on between the lines.
Oh, that's outside.
Ball one to Ty Dooley after Dean Mijos made a memorable moment.
And that is the part of the ballpark where the wind can actually help you.
Yep.
Right down the line, it's going to push it just a little bit further.
Oh.
2-1. He was sitting dead red on a 2-0 fastball, and he missed it.
Yeah, 92 miles an hour on that one, Rav. I'd say the wind helped that one a little bit.
There's no question he rode that wind, and it was blowing hard.
Well, we talked about it yesterday, and nobody was able to take advantage of it. But you could tell Curiel felt like he had a beat on that ball from the jump, and he just couldn't track it down as it just got in that jet stream.
Lands that one to go 3-2. Mijos broke his finger, was off to a phenomenal start, then he missed 12 games. But a home run from the 7-hole hitter. Called strike 3 on the corner. He's got 5 strikeouts.
Well, somebody had to be the hero today for Coastal. Maybe it's Dean Mijos getting them started their first run here in the finals, and he backspins one into the left field corner that just stays fair. Curiel does all he can to try to make this play, but the Chanticleers strike first just over the outstretched arm of Derek Curiel.
It took only 1 run yesterday. Mijos and Morrison. Will it be only 1 today? ESPN's presentation of the Men's College World Series on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
I know. Can't hear it.
Welcome back to Omaha. It's Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, Chris Budden, Carl Ravitch. There's been some concerns and issues with and this happened from the first pitch.
Yeah, it did.
Jacob Morrison's pitch comm not working very well, so they're giving him another one. Given the fire that he showed, this is such a fascinating dynamic. You got Morrison on the mound. His team's up 1-0. You're looking at Matt Williams, minus Schnall, the head coach, if you're just tuning in here, thrown out of the game in the bottom of the first. A must-win game for Coastal. Otherwise, LSU wins another. Championship would be their 8th. How many times have you heard pitchers, KP, you've been in that situation, you've heard it. You know what? You got me 1, I got you the rest.
And you feel a lot different when you look up there and there's a 1 on your side.
This one hit well into the gap, and it is hanging up there, but it's going to get down as Alexander goes to get it. Then he fires off balance. But Daniel Dickinson, who had been struggling at the bottom of the order, hitting just 194, delivers a leadoff single. Michael Braswell, hitting 0-42, gets a standing ovation from the purple and gold here, trying to get him righted. He did hit a ball hard to right in the game yesterday. He squares and lays down a good one. Morrison will bend over, get it, and flip. But Braswell does the job. He advances Dickinson to second.
The whole deal with Michael Braswell is a really cool moment for a fan base rallying behind a guy who's 0 for 12 here at the College World Series. But he's going to do whatever Jay Johnson calls on him to do. And this is a perfect bunt up the first base line. KP, the big 6'8" righty getting all the way to the ground.
Just got that glove down there.
Not
that
so
one
easy,
got interesting.
Right?
Yeah,
Not so
no,
easy.
man, that was a tough chance.
Back to the top of the order. Good contact hitter now in Curiel. Slider's got a lot of break on it. Curiel's having a phenomenal tournament. He's had a great season. And if he can get one to the outfield, it looks like, given where they're playing out there, Dickinson's going to be able to score easily from second.
Oh, that's outside.
Again, you can see the wind is blowing, howling from right to left. 1-1 to Curiel. And shallow left field. Alexander didn't see it in the beginning. Now he finds it, and it's still blowing towards that left field foul line. So from the NCAA, the word on Coach Schnall, he was arguing balls and strikes. The umpire then gave a warning. Once you get a warning, you can't come out of the dugout to argue. He was ejected. As Ethan Fry looks at one a little bit high. Once he was ejected, you need to leave, and then he came out to argue again, or never left. He was given an additional 2-game suspension, so he is gone for the rest of this series. That's in there for a strike. So prolonged arguing is the reason given for the 2-game suspension. Schilling was ejected for comments. Anyone other than the head coach, a 1-game suspension on top of the ejection, an additional 2 games for, again, prolonged arguing. That ball is smoked on a line. He came in. It's over his head. Alexander came in, and it drove over his head into second. And just like that, this game is tied on a mistake by Sebastian Alexander. That ball was roped 114 miles an hour. Fry delivers.
One of the toughest plays you'll ever have to make as an outfielder. A ball that's hit low but stung, and Alexander breaks in thinking he's going to need to make a play moving forward. This ball is backspun at 114 and just sails over his head. And the Coastal defense can't get their star right-hander off the field. A very tough chance, but one maybe if he breaks back, he makes that play.
It starts with the 114, but then it is that backspin. I mean, if he doesn't catch it clean and it's got a little top spin, he probably makes the play. But that backspin carried it just far enough that Alexander couldn't make the adjustment. Now Matt Williams, the pitching coach for Coastal, out for the first time.
I wonder if he's having trouble picking the ball up with the sun. Remember the play before it, the ball that Curiel hit. He went to his left, and then he came back to his right. His first move was the other way, and that ball he came in on.
And he's not wearing his sunglasses that he wasn't, at least at the time, which is, help me out there, Carl.
I can't.
I mean, we got sunglasses on.
Yeah.
It's very sunny, and I'm with you, Carl. It does not look like, and I get it. It's a tough place to play left field, but you would think the sunglasses would help.
They generally don't hurt.
Here's the play before on Curiel's. Watch his first jump. He goes that way.
Yeah, he goes back, almost threw his hands up, Carl. And he still didn't put the sunglasses on this one. I don't know if as much he didn't see it or just totally misread. It might be both. But
yeah, I think he saw it okay. It just wasn't a great break.
Well, both guys, Fry and Dickinson, had been struggling here in Omaha. Both sub 200. And both have gotten hits. Fry's now at second base for Milam, who's been so clutch for them. That was close. Now Morrison will try to get out of this thing just with one. Start a season like LSU did and finished it with 52 wins. Everybody in the lineup for both these teams have to have the ability to come through in the clutch, and Milam has done it a lot. This time he got jammed, popped up on the infield. Mitchell is there. But the Tigers bounce here in the top of the third inning. Dickinson with the hit. And then Ethan Fry with the RBI. We'll talk with Jay Johnson, ask him if he's seen something like this before.
Welcome back to the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. Joined with LSU head coach Jay Johnson. We've seen some heated emotions in game two. What has been the conversation in your dugout about trying to remain calm given what has happened so far in game two?
Stay poised, stay focused, stay executing your plan, not get wrapped up in the external. We can't control and try to execute.
We talked about for Anthony Ianson coming out with that closer mindset from the very beginning. What have you thought from his stuff early?
Yeah, I mean, outside of one pitch, he's been fantastic. I don't think they're seeing him very well. He's getting a lot of swing and misses. He's throwing all his pitches for strikes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, KB. And again, if you're just joining us, the head coach thrown out of the game for arguing balls and strikes. He came out of the dugout, did Kevin Schnall. He got ejected. Once you're ejected, you need to leave. He came out to argue again or didn't leave. He was given an additional 2-game suspension for prolonged arguing. So Kevin Schnall will not be on the bench if there is a game 3. Angel Campos, the home plate umpire, kind of go back over the course of the game and look at some of the signals he gave to Schnall. Did he tell him enough to stay there, to turn around, to go back? How often do you think an umpire is obligated to do that given the situation?
I think a little bit more in the first couple innings of game 2 of the finals.
Well, Sykes, right field, Jake Brown. 1 down. All right, let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, so they're arguing balls and strike. Matt Schilling, the first base coach, had already kind of got it going. Angel Campos told Kevin Schnall that's enough. Kevin Schnall had another word. And then this is where I guess you get into the prolonged arguing piece.
Now that was Schilling.
Correct, but Schilling also got 2 games for prolonged arguing, and it was both Schilling and Schnall that got 2 extra games for prolonged arguing.
And a ground ball back to Ianson, and he will flip underneath. Yeah, I think in fairness to Campos in this situation, you got to rewind it a little more to see how many times he told Schnall, stay where you are.
Understood. I mean, it was, Kevin Schnall did not exactly walk back into the dugout. It started at first base. It started with his first base coach, and ultimately that's who was going to get the warning, and then took on from there. I still think it's too quick.
I wouldn't argue that, but we didn't see Campos tell Schnall to stay where you are in that last clip. And I'm fairly certain if you go back a little deeper, he does it at least once.
Well, Chad Oxendine, third base coach now, acting head coach for Coastal, has head coaching experience. Was a head coach at Longwood the last 3 years. Before that was at Coastal, where he previously played. So stepping into a spot that maybe you don't expect to, and I bet they wish that guy could walk down the dugout.
I was wondering, is he available?
Special
Gilmore, bring him back
to the assistant.
Maybe renew his contract for tomorrow if they get there.
Gilly was a head man. Schnall was an assistant for so long. Underneath him, he was the head man at 16 when they won it all.
Thank you.
Obviously, Gilmore was the guy that took that program from literally dirt, mud, and brought it to where it is now. Largely considered even a mid-major, but a powerhouse in college baseball. fighting cancer for years. He looks real good. Great to see him out here. And a good pitch from Ianson to even it up 1 ball, 1 strike to Alexander. And you talk about coaching legends.
Man, is it good to see him?
Yes, it is.
Just flew in today.
Ball. The man who got it all started 40 years ago, taking the Tigers to their first College World Series appearance in 1986, and they have been a mainstay ever since.
7 World Series titles total. He's got 5 of them. That's a good pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Started at Miami right even before he got to LSU, and then
Ron Frazier's assistant.
It exploded for him and the Tigers. Center field. Stanfield coming. He will not get it. It was way off the end of the bat, and the wind absolutely knocked it down.
Yeah, maybe just a little indecisive there on his first step by Stanfield. That was a ball that was hit directly off the end of the bat, and when you know the wind's blowing as hard as it is, any ball that doesn't have any kind of speed behind it is going to die quickly, and he just couldn't run that one down.
But early in this game, it feels like the outfielders are thinking about the wind as soon as the ball is hit. Part of the thought process is what's going to happen here. See if Alexander takes off. Not there, and that ball is down. Ball 1. Stole a base in the first. He got stranded at second base. His 28th steal of the year.
It was actually after his stolen base that all the fireworks happened.
Yeah. We'll see how important that run was for Ianson and LSU. The word on Anthony, when you look at his numbers, he does tend to get better, even more so third time through the order, which flies against conventional wisdom. He had him leaning, but he's able to dive back. Hard with 1 for 17 with runners on at 0 for 10. But they did get 1 hit. And they're going to keep an eye on Alexander.
Yeah, 1 for 17 with runners on is not going to get it done against a team like LSU. And again, this is an offense that, while not the most explosive in the country, has been opportunistic. Just hasn't happened yet over these last 2 days.
Seabass, he was all into the private plane coming to Omaha. You know, you get a lot of perks when you make it to the College World Series. He was focused on that when we first talked to him on Thursday. Big swing and a miss from Barthel.
Reset.
Six times this year, Alexander has stolen 2 in a game. Not going here in a 1-2, and boy, he was quick to get that bat on it. That thing was climbing at 95.
It's interesting how Ianson goes to the breaking balls with certain guys and stays with the fastball with others. That's what makes him so tough. You don't become one of the top 3 strikeout guys in the country by being a one-trick pony. He can manipulate the ball to do whatever the hitter's holes suggest, and you can tell he's trying to climb the ladder with that four-seamer against Barthel.
He is going here, and a chopper to first that's going to go foul, and Alexander will come back.
His ability to throw both breaking balls for a strike, just it makes him a tough read going in because there's no book. I mean, you can't sit something in a certain count because he can't throw 3 pitches for a strike.
Kyler McDaniel and most others have him projected late first round. Ianson. He's gone. He chased up top again. That is 6 strikeouts for Anthony Ianson. We're through 3. It's 1-1. And the NCAA Men's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by USAA, proudly serving the military community and their families. Mets and the Phillies have identical 46-31 records. Sunday Night Baseball, we will be in Philadelphia. The series finale tonight between those two. 7 Eastern Time, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts 6 Eastern Time with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. All part of a action-packed sports day on ESPN, ABC. Of course, Game 7. And the NBA Finals tonight as well. Looks like Morrison couldn't hear it. Then all of a sudden it clicked in, and now we got communication issues. Yep.
It's been a problem. Started from the first pitch. Remember, Ravi, where he had his glove over his ear to start the game?
I do. I think it's his left ear. The coach just gave one that was working.
Might be that
Try the other ear.
Might be that 30-mile-an-hour breeze in his ear, too.
Go to the right side.
Given he's 6'8", maybe 31 up where he is.
That's right.
It's not a delay tactic. Trust us, there's nobody who wants this less than the starting pitcher.
They might just have to go to traditional science here.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
The catcher puts the number down, and you say yes or no.
The 2025 Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year. He was a Golden Spikes semifinalist.
Look, he's asking for numbers.
He just wants to pitch.
Can we do numbers?
Yeah, and again, I think this is the value of having a veteran like Morrison who's been through so much. To be honest, the wheels are spinning a little quick in this game. He's able to say, you know, I got an idea. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
He's taking charge.
He can slow it down a little bit.
Right. So. He's going to the watch now. We're not listening to it. We're going to the watch. You can see how consistent Jacob Morrison has been throughout the course of this season. Last 5 seasons, there's only 2 dudes that have had 10 starts and 6+ innings, 1 or fewer runs. It's Paul Skeens and Jacob Morrison. And KP, I hear it's good if you show up on a graphic with
It is.
Skeens.
It is. I heard somebody say that once.
That has to do with pitching. He qualified it.
Or a lot of things in life.
I'm not sure there's a real bad graphic that you could have right now with Paul Skeens. Don't think so.
Futures.
So now instead of the pitch count, you can see him look down at his wrist. He gets the sign. It's 1-1. Jake Brown struck out his first time up. And Morrison's pregame ritual is to generally watch any inning or game or part of a game in which he has dominated a lineup. He said he's likely going to watch the Auburn video, but certainly you can go back to what he did against Oregon State. That gets him in the right mind frame. He wants to watch himself succeed and win. Falls behind the leadoff hitter here, 3-1, and that's too far inside. Walkrey.
Ravi, on his glove is stitched in there, throw harder. It's not sort of motivation. What it actually is, he lost a bet his freshman year to Liam Doyle, who was at Coastal at the time, who pitched this season for Tennessee. They had a bet for the first person to reach 95 velocity. The other person had to get throw harder stitched on there. So he says it's kind of embarrassing because really I lost a bet. He did say, I'm obsessed with velo.
Yep.
So sometimes if I know I throw a fastball hard, I turn and I look at the scoreboard. He did it in a fall scrimmage and coaches turned off the scoreboard so he couldn't look at it.
Yeah, he's not the first pitcher to turn around and look at the scoreboard.
No.
And in Major League parks, they'll throw up other advanced analytics. Spin rate, they go to check to see what those numbers are.
That is a wonderful bet, though, just as they go. I mean, there's no money exchanged hands. It's just
throw harder.
Throw harder.
That's right up your alley.
It is for the guy that sits there and tells you.
On that one.
I got an idea, guys. Try harder. Doyle can get it up to 95. 2 balls and a strike.
You just picked the wrong guy to make the bet.
Yeah.
That's all.
Tough one.
So it's 2 balls and a strike. See if Morrison can kind of re-find it.
Throw harder.
Try harder.
Yeah. Catch bigger fish.
Oof.
That's what we're going to do for you. I'm not going to get you some try harder gear.
I need a swing harder on my driver cover or something. How about that?
Or try harder. I mean, it would be the same. That's what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Try harder's good because it kind of covers just about anything you want.
It is very, very
any aspect.
broad.
Just try harder.
I'm going to simplify this. Try harder.
2-2 to Jones, and that one was hung up there a little bit and pulled it foul. .28 homers, hit .301 as a sophomore. He entered the draft process. He went to the combine. He was ready to leave, but the right offer never came. And he wanted to be a leader on this team this year, and that's the chance to do it as he lines one into left field. Cutting second base, nearly blowing a tire on his way to third, but in there safely is Brown, and the Tigers have him on the corners.
It's interesting that AB, how they were going to the curveball. He's been so good with the slider in this game, but that's multiple curveballs they showed Jared Jones. Look at the extension through this breaking ball. He recognizes, watch how long the barrel stays through. That chest stays over home plate, and that is as pretty of a follow-through as you will see as the Tiger slugger rips one into left center. And they got some serious action here on first and third and nobody out.
I'm telling you guys, I think that hit that he had in his last at bat last night, where he made contact after a couple of strikeouts, kind of got him right again. He reached on an error in his first plate appearance, a hard hit single. And this was a guy that wasn't in the starting lineup at the end of last year's postseason. He watched his Tigers beat Florida 18-4. But Beloso and Dugas and Cruz and Skeens, he learned how to be a leader. And both on and in the clubhouse, on the field and off, he's the guy they point to calm things down. So he's at first, Brown's at third. Here's Luis Hernandez.
Yeah.
In Omaha, a .382 hitter. He's got a couple of homers, 2 doubles. He's got 8 RBI. That one sounded like it may have got him. Yes, Campos says it did. That'll load him up. A hit batter from Morrison.
Four-seamer that just tails up and in, and yeah, that catches her.
Backhand.
Right, looked like right on the bottom of his right hand.
Well, the bases are loaded, and LSU with the bases loaded. You see the numbers right there. 438, 2 grand slams, 4 extra base hits.
And this is also a part of the lineup where they'll play some small ball now. Stanfield, Dickinson, Braswell, all very good at the inside game. So don't be surprised if Jay Johnson tries to manipulate these ABs right here and make sure they push a couple across.
Walker Mitchell is deep at third base.
Yeah, he is.
Brown, Jones, and Hernandez, third, second, and first. It looked like he was swinging there. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
Just feel like at this point, if you're Morrison, you got to lean on that cutter. The cutter has been his best pitch. It's been his most consistent pitch. He's gone away from it a little bit in this inning.
That ball late Rice into left field. It gets down. Brown is in. Jones hits third. He's coming in. And they have terrorized grand slam situations. Stanfield drives in 2, 3-1 Tigers.
This is how you get on top of a four-seam fastball right there. Flatten the barrel, release the top hand. Watch this top hand come through the zone. Square that thing up, keep it below the wind. And the Tigers got it all going downhill right now, boys. Couple runs in, still nobody out, and they got the Coastal Carolina ace on the ropes.
Chris Stanfield and the rest of the Tigers' eyes light up when they see purple and gold on the bases. And for Stanfield, now 10 RBI here at Omaha. In the tournament, I should say, he was hitting just 154. The guys that have struggled in Omaha have delivered hits for him.
There's your series so far.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, LSU has come up with runners in scoring position. Coastal has not been able to do it yet.
That's a big hit in a game in which it feels like runs are going to be hard to come by, and action begins in the Coastal bullpen. Aiden Johnson's the lefty and Darren Horn the righty. He got rid of PitchCom. Since he's used the band, it's gone a little sideways for Morrison. That is a good clean bunt from Dickinson. Will be thrown out at third, but both runners move up 90.
And watch it again here. I'm telling you, watch it again here.
Yeah.
Dickinson with just a beautiful job of handling a tough pitch and deadening that ball out in front of home plate. And now you got Braswell, who
I would say maybe watch it again here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you go back to back.
Yeah, I no doubt about it. I think this is going to be a situation where Coastal is really going to have to play the corners in and anticipate a safety here.
Well, Thorndike is in on the grass at first. Mitchell even with the bag. Strike one to Braswell. He laid a good one down his first time up. Out of play. So they didn't think about it there. He's now behind 0-2.
Yeah, two-run lead. Jay trying to give his third baseman the freedom to maybe punch one through and put him up a 4 spot, but he's in a tough count here, down 0-2.
Guys, it feels like the at-bats have been a little better for Braswell. Since he had that deep line out to right field, it just feels a little more connectivity, and that sacrifice keeps you engaged.
That's right.
The hit could be a hammer for LSU here. Sky high on the infield, so Wynn may get it. Dooley, now it's the third baseman, Mitchell. Boy, Dooley thought he had that the whole time until the wind moved it over to Mitchell.
Boy, pop-up communication on a day like today is paramount. You got the sun, you got the wind, all the pressure and noise. Nice job there by the Coastal infield. Dooley and Mitchell are communicating their way through what could have been a tough chance.
So 2 down, and here's Curiel. 53 runs batted in on the season. He's the leadoff hitter. He struck out and flew out to left.
Ball one.
First base open. Fry with a double and an RBI on deck. One up the middle, it gets down. Here's Hernandez, here's Stanfield, and Derek Curiel crushes Coastal. It's 5-1.
Berkey Morrison had been so good with the cutter today on the glove side and leaving it on the glove side. This one didn't get to the glove side, and that's the difference. Watch where it ends up. Cutter that is middle, and a perfect spot for that Curiel swing path. And the freshman delivers with a 2 RBI single to extend this LSU lead.
Clutch 2-out hit for that guy right there, Derek Curiel. And this is part of the script, along with Schnall getting thrown out. You never saw coming the way that Morrison has pitched all year. Look at the numbers for Curiel in this tournament. 5 for 7, runners in scoring position.
Just so clutch, so talented.
And all those hours in the batting cage with his father have paid off. Top of the 4th, LSU. The Tigers, if they win the game, will win their 8th championship. And they got the big fella out, leading 5-1. In a wild series, this has been a wild game. How about Jacob Morrison? Against the Tigers today, he got hit hard. 5 earned runs, most allowed this season. He gives way to Hayden Johnson. A sophomore, 6'5", out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, who's been in a lot of games. His 24th appearance.
Now look at those strikeouts too. 52 and 36 innings. Very fastball heavy, primarily fastball slider. The fastball about 70% of the time this year.
Shortest outing of the season for Morrison. 12-0. They'd won his last 15 starts. You know how disappointed he is. That one's a little down. What's your take? More about Morrison's pitch selection, his location, velocity stuff, or the Tigers?
Well, it was an interesting outing. He never really looked all that comfortable from the jump. I mean, starting with the pitch calm situation, but to me, it's all about the Tigers. I just think right now it's a team that can smell the finish line. Obviously, they got the juice of this incredible fan base behind them, and they've just been more opportunistic. Like they have come up clutch in the big moments, especially here in this game.
There are many times guys make mistakes in every game.
Yeah,
they don't always get hit. Today, when the mistakes were made, LSU made them pay, especially in this inning.
Now, the good news for Coastal is they have the pieces in the bullpen to potentially keep it right here and extend this ball game and give their offense a chance. But can their offense muster enough against Ianson, who seems to be in complete control of the full arsenal?
3-2. Ethan Fry, come on back. Big hits in this game from Fry. Had that double and the RBI. Stanfield had a huge hit with 2 RBIs. So did Curiel. Jared Jones had a big hit. 3-2. Hard on the ground. The dive underneath the glove of Dooley to third base. And Holden there with a big turn. And still challenging over there, Curiel. Another hard hit ball, this time off the bat of Fry, who's got 2 hits today.
This is such a fast surface. This is 110, boys. You don't have a whole lot. Watch Josh Jordan here. He's thinking about sending him, KP. He got backing up fast. Yes, he was. He decided to put the brakes. A ground ball to shortstop at 110 that had so much juice on it that it got all the way out there in the gap and almost scored Curiel from first base.
We're running about 14 on the stimp right now. It is
they're rolling out.
It is zipping through this infield.
Well, this inning started with Jake Brown, who's on deck. So Milam, 9th guy to the plate.
Oh, that's outside.
The Tigers, who belted 103 homers, hit 296, scored 531 runs this season, are flexing here in this inning. 1-1. Milam singled his first time up, and this has been the most clutch guy for them during the tournament. pops it up shallow right field. Anybody got to get it? Pato coming. Watch it.
Oh.
Ooh, was that close? Ended up in the glove of Barthol, the second baseman. And that was close. The game's not close right now. The Tigers of LSU have exploded for 4. ESPN's presentation of the Men's College World Series on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. All right, KP, who you got catching this ball?
Well, I was wrong. I thought it was Pato, but watch right until the last minute. Just throw that glove out there.
Gosh.
Just throw that glove out there. Nope, not that glove, that glove.
Wow.
The other glove, and it ends up right in it. And, I mean, that's a really big play, too, because that scores at least one. I mean, probably just one, but adds the LSU lead.
Walker Mitchell starts off with the first pitch. This one is tailing towards the right fielder and ends up in Brown's glove. The wind playing tricks with it. We've talked about it. And you have to be ready no matter where you are in the field. Where the ball starts, it's guaranteed not to finish there.
They talk about it so often, too. I mean, the importance of going and throwing a 0 up after your guys go out and put some on the board. And I think it's extremely important right now for Heinsohn. You get 4, that LSU lead is extended, and he gets 1 pitch on 1 out to start it. Or 1 out on 1 pitch, too.
Try harder.
Well, the formula for LSU this season has been these 2 dynamite pitchers. We saw what Anderson did last night, and it was always followed up by Ianson. They're 1 and 3 in strikeouts in the country. That's a short list of 2 great pitchers on great teams.
It's a short list and very distinguished.
Very. And this one is on the infield. Ianson's going to get out of the way. That's smart when you got a 280-pound first baseman coming in to make the play. Cole and Bauer on the list. Leiter and Rocker are on the list. So there you go. Those are first-round picks everywhere.
Townsend and Neiman.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Good, and that's the list. Ianson and Anderson.
There's no more.
I read the same notes that you guys did.
But do you like the list?
I love the list.
Yeah, I think
you like good pitching. Yes.
Yeah. That's a graphic you want to find your name on.
Oh, that's outside.
Coastal had a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. They also were doing it without their head coach and their first base coach, who were both thrown out in the bottom of the first inning. Something you rarely have ever see in a World Series game at any level. But for arguing and then prolonged arguing, they both got 2-game suspensions. So if Coastal can't come back, Schnall and Schilling will start next season suspended. Let's just say this will be a discussion point in Conway, South Carolina, and other places as well. Trying to go 1-2-3 here in the 4th. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coastal's 56-12. They were in the Big South in 2016 and they won it all. And then about like 10 hours later, they joined the Sun Belt.
Oh, that's inside.
Just missed in, and that's a walk. There will not be a 1-2-3 inning. KP, I don't know if you've gotten the same research packet that we did, but this is kind of summing it up. The dynamic duos. Neiman and Townsend.
We're good.
You go west. You see the masks, the superhero masks they're wearing, and the capes. It's kind of like the towel you have strung over your shoulder. I think that's what superpower.
Very similar.
All top 10 picks too.
That's a formula that will get you to Omaha, not win you a championship. Have 2 of those guys.
Ace. Usually works out okay.
Look, they've created their own good fortune But if you had a script for Jay Johnson, it would be to get a complete game from Anderson last night. Like literally, or get a big lead and have him come out in the 8th inning. And it worked out for him ideally. 130 pitches he threw. You know, if you were asking him, you'd have Ianson and then you'd hand it over to Kason Evans with a comfortable lead to try to finish it. We're still far away from that. But if you had a little notebook, this would be what it looked like.
Well, he told us there's no way they can win this thing without Anderson, Ianson, and Evans throwing big innings. He's got a chance to win this thing with only those 3 dudes.
Yes, he does.
Mijos, who has a homer, can pull him within 2 if he can do it again on a 1-2. Outside, 2-2. For Dean, it was his 3rd of the year and his first since March 15th against Georgia Southern. Again, the injury may have had something to do with it. But one swing, getting it up in the wind down that left field line could do a lot for Coastal. Instead, end of the bat, Dickinson bobbles it, and he'll have no play. Looks like it went in and out of the heel. So 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, all part of the surface that these infielders are going to have to deal with. Now, it is dry and it is fast, and every hop can come up and bite you. And that's one of those difficult backhand plays where you really are hoping the ball hugs the ground all the way to the glove, and instead that last hop comes up just enough where it hits him in the heel. And it was going to be a tough throw anyway, but makes the catch that much more difficult. That'll go down as a hit, though.
I'm up.
First look at the LSU pitching coach, Nate Yeski.
I think good time to go out and chat. We were talking about it a minute ago, the importance of throwing a 0 up after your guys go out and put some runs on the board, and it was 2 really quick outs in this inning. You go walk-in field single, and Coastal's a ball and a gap away from really flipping the momentum back on their side right here. Ianson a pitch away from getting the Tigers back in the dugout.
Well, LSU does it again, and one of their calling cards has been a big inning. They've had at least 1 3-run inning. All 3 of their wins at the World Series. They got 4 in the 4th. The Men's College World Series Championship Finals close to wrapping up here. Will we have another day tomorrow? For more information, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Dooley has been known to come up with a big hit for the Chants. Looks the one outside.
That's what we're back to, isn't it, Raph? Who's going to get that big hit? Yeah. I mean, clearly they've dug themselves a hole, and now it's just a matter of, can you keep this thing within striking distance here in the middle part of the ball game and not let the Tigers run away from you?
Well, that's been their calling card all year. You know, whether you get on via hit, walk, hit by pitch, and then start getting into some Coastal baseball. Move them along, drag, bunt, get on base, put pressure on the defense. In there, and it's 1-2, and they haven't been able to do that through a game and 4 innings.
That's 3 straight curveballs. See if he stays with it. That's especially against left-handers. When Ianson gets into a jam, that is what he is most comfortable with.
Dooley hitting almost 400 runners in scoring position. He got jammed. The runners were off Coastal baseball, but they have to go back. Thorndike was halfway to third when Ianson let the ball go.
Yeah, great jump right there. Obviously, the hitter's got a 2-strike count, so he's got to protect on a fastball that was just boring in on his knuckles. Dooley fights that one off, but Ianson just continues to keep these hitters off balance. As you said, KP, tripled up with the big breaking ball, and then 95 right on the inside edge.
Gets the sign. Here we go on a 1-2. He got him swinging. And for Ianson, that is strikeout number 7. They continue to be unable to come up with a big hit. Anderson and Ianson have a lot to do with it.
Only 2 that have been out there so far for LSU, and both have sparkled. Ianson doing it on the mound tonight. The Tigers lead it by 4.
Welcome back to the NCAA Men's College World Series. Joined with acting head coach Chad Oxendine. When you became acting head coach, you called the team around, you had a meeting. What did you want to let them know to try and get everything back settled down?
Number one, there's a lot of game left. To stay self-disciplined. You know, we can't afford for somebody else to get thrown out of this game, and you know, to come together. You know, we've done it all year long. It's about the brotherhood, about us coming together and fighting, you know, one pitch at a time.
What do you need at the plate to be able to string some hits together against Ianson?
Man, he's throwing well. He's really good. So we just got to keep grinding, man. We got to keep chipping away, try to limit the chases, and put good swings on the baseball.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Right after the ejection, Oxendine, again, a guy who's no stranger to leading the charge, 3 years as a head coach, brought the group together, tried to recenter them on playing ball and not letting their emotions get too far out in front of them. Easy to do in a big game like that, especially when your skipper gets tossed. But they got their hands full with the Tigers across the field from them, and it feels like they've settled back into that part of it. Now the question is, can they just settle this Tiger offense down and produce enough of their own to make this thing a game late?
One ball, one strike. Brown led off the 4th. Here he is leading off the 5th. There's a whole bunch of pro prospects on this team, obviously Ianson and Anderson. But as a position player goes, if you base it just on the World Series, you'd think there's like 7 of them. This is the one they believe has the most potential at the next level, but not there as Brown is retired. Back to the 1st inning where it got real wild and bizarre. You see Angel Campos right here. He will look over and talk to Kevin Schnall, who's coming out, and right there he says go back. Then he says go back again. Another 2 or 3 times, and he kept coming out. He didn't listen to that.
He gave him a few chances. I still think it was too early. I don't think he run him in that situation, but he did give him a few chances to head back.
I just think it was important to show it wasn't just one.
No,
you're right. It wasn't as quick as it maybe initially appeared. And it was also clear that the initial warning was because of Matt Schilling.
Yes,
he points at Matt Schilling, points to the dugout, and then as you would think a skipper would do, Kevin Schnall, he's sticking up for his guy, and that's at the point where it got real confrontational.
And again from the NCAA, so ejected, and a 2-game suspension came for not leaving once you're told to leave. Both of them prolonged arguing. That's where you get the extra game or games.
I think you did a nice job. I think our crew did a nice job there of showing all that. And Ravi, I know you were very specific about. He did give him a couple chances. Now, I think KP, I think you're right. I think 2 things can be true. By the book, Angel Campos probably gave him enough chances.
Correct.
Considering the situation, I would have liked to see him be way over the top patient with Kevin Schnall there and just really be as graceful as he possibly can with asking the head coach to get back to the dugout.
Almost pleading with him. Like, look, I'm going to throw you out of here if you don't do this. You've seen that. This one is roped to right. And you can tell Jared Jones has kind of refound his stroke. And there is Ianson, who's back into the dugout. 5th time this year that he has 7 or more strikeouts through 4 innings. 9 is his highest. He's done that a couple of times. Struck out 15 in a game. Made a couple of 12 strikeout games. And he's well on his way. Because of what he's doing today, I mean, are we literally looking at scouts and teams while he's projected at 37? Could he possibly move up a little bit just based on what he does here?
Well, it's not hurting him.
Yeah.
That's for sure. The nice thing about the draft is it only takes one to really like you.
It's true.
If there's scouting director or a GM that has really liked what they've seen with Ianson, yeah, you could see him moving up some. Only remaining answer for Cade Anderson: how high does he go with the first round, and potentially could he go first?
Transfer out of UC San Diego.
Tritons.
He's a Triton.
Ball.
I think the reason you saw Jay Johnson gather his offensive players there was to maybe give Ianson just another couple of minutes in between innings, rehydrate, cool off. On the corner, they go 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Morrison out of the game, his shortest outing of the season, most runs he's allowed. The Hernandez family watching on, and that one hit hard on the ground. Dooley has been very smooth at shortstop, and he's there to make the play. Bottom of the 5th, coming up. Ianson back to the bump, sitting on 7 Ks and a 4-run lead.
We love to debate about the best ever. On the verge of an 8th Men's College World Series title, LSU's case for best ever college baseball program is hard to dispute. All those trips to Omaha, all those All-Americans in all those dog piles. We call that timeless, and that's why the Tigers are the greatest of all time.
For sure, recent times, 20 trips to the World Series in the last 4 decades, so half the time they've been here. The most titles come from USC, but they haven't won one since 1998. Of course, LSU just a couple of years ago. Texas now a member of the SEC and ASU. Last year, all SEC, ACC. This year, a far more diverse field. But it's an SEC-dominated sport right now.
Yeah, and the Tigers are looking to add a 6th straight title to the Southeastern Conference, and their 4th of this century, which separates them from the pack. And Oregon State and them are the only 2 with 3 this century.
Yep. One down. There's Jeff and Christie smiling. You're right. Sung's doing a great job.
Let's go, kid! Yeah, yes, he won.
That's a swing. Ianson dealt with a stomach issue when he was young. He couldn't eat, and he kept losing weight. They finally got him to a hospital. They were able to diagnose what was going on. For a while, he was getting by on chewing Pringles down to like the tiniest, just so he could swallow. It was a real issue and real concern. But obviously, they were able to, thanks to the hospital out west, get him right. He's getting set to move on to professional baseball. 2-2 to Sykes. That's going to be a hit. He goes the other way with it. Go with Coastal again, having runners. They got to be able to figure out a way to get him in.
Yeah, leadoff man on. They haven't been able to do that very much. Look at the assortment today for Ianson. So we talked about the importance of that curveball, then the slider. 2 different shapes, 2 different speeds. He uses them 2 different ways. The ability to throw that pitch out away from a lefty too. And then the fastball has still been up to 95, 96 miles an hour today. So it is that combination that as a hitter, you cannot go up and feel like you're going to see any kind of a pattern. Ianson keeps you guessing, but now Coastal leadoff man on at the top of the order.
And a good base runner. Sykes has 18 steals. He fakes and comes back as Caden Bodine looks at ball 1. Another future 1st-round draft pick. Kid who grew up a Philadelphia Phillies fan. Struggled here in Omaha. You expected great things. He was the circle guy. You couldn't let beat you. This time he golfs one to left. Curiel reads it well and tracks it down. More frustration for Bodine, who's worked on getting that power the other way.
A pretty nice piece of hitting right there, just didn't get it elevated enough. That ball's got a chance to probably get in the bullpen there if he Launches it just a little bit higher, but solid contact nonetheless. Hey now. Was that a shirt or a pant?
I was going to ask. I believe it was skin. But given the humidity and the temperature, I think you'd see
it's got to be a shirt, right?
Pretty good holding power there.
Yeah, I think that's a shirt because it's got a tail. And he's a human.
Not supposed to have a tail.
Supposed to have a tail.
Great point.
You know, that was the give. That was the dead give right there.
Good stuff.
Found out. So there's an establishment.
Yeah.
You found out that?
Oh yeah, I was informed of that.
Slow roller, Braswell fields, and he is a terrific third baseman. He fires across to get Alexander.
You know, Chris, we've talked about this LSU fan base getting to their feet when Braswell comes up, just because he's been struggling so much offensively. He was really good defensively yesterday, and this is the reason why he's in the game.
He can really pick it and throw the ball accurately, too. There was a couple throws yesterday where he had no margin for error. See how quick that transfer is there.
There was a bunch of kids after yesterday's win that sat around waiting for him to come up just so that they could get his autograph after last night's win.
That's phenomenal, and you kind of get the sense that maybe some encouragement from some adults. Go over there and get his autograph.
Yeah.
We need him. And by the way, you could make the case he was the most valuable player not named Anderson on the field yesterday.
Yeah, in a 1-0 game. I mean, the plays he made, specifically the bunt play, he was able to make at first base, really had a chance to impact the game if he's not able to finish those off.
Tell you what, folks, just a hit to get another run in, a little momentum. They need something, right? Just something.
Yes. I mean, the one run so far scored in these finals is a solo home run for Coastal.
This is on the ground. The scouting has been great. It is directly at Dickinson. The Ionsons are happy. LSU is happy. It is 5-1. ESPN's presentation of the Men's College World Series on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We're back here in Omaha. We take a look at the Capital One Cup standings. Teams competing for a combined $500,000 in student athlete scholarships from Capital One. On the men's side, the Buckeyes. On the women's side, North Carolina. And oftentimes you see similar schools on each side. Not this year. Push here.
Oh boy.
And is he off? He is off. A difficult play fielded by Hayden Johnson, and he dragged Thorndike away from the bag. Stanfield's aboard.
I got a little worried when he spun. Let's see if Thorndike holds it just long enough. Looks like he does.
I think he's on there.
This will be overturned here, as it looked like he was off, but the foot still engaged with the bag right before he comes off.
Coastal Carolina challenging the safe call at first. The previous call is under video review.
What do you think goes through the umpire's mind, Campos, after that whole situation unfolds? Like, is that I had, and again, we're speculating, but I had no choice. I really didn't want to. I regret doing it.
I think some of it, and this is pure speculation, is just like you're telling one team, okay, we got to settle down. Probably got to settle down a little bit behind home plate too. I mean, there's just the natural human emotions that
video review, the call at first will be overturned. The runner is out. Coastal Carolina retains their challenge. They have 2 challenges left.
Well, to that point, he's done a nice job behind the plate.
His ball strikes, I mean, his strike zone's been very good.
You'd think that would maybe cause you to lose your focus and kind of live in that moment, but he seems to have moved on and done a nice job calling balls and strikes.
The 8th hitter is Daniel Dickinson, single and a sacrifice for the Tigers. Fooled him there.
We talked about this Coastal staff and plenty about Morrison, rightfully so. It's the 2nd best ERA in the country. I mean, they have the ability to hold it right where it is. It's just whether or not this offense can get it going.
Gets the call on the outside corner. He protects there, and that one is just foul. Boy, that ball was taken out of Bodine's glove and nearly a fair ball.
Well, he knew the whole time because he barely left the batter's box, but this ball did not miss by much. Look, Dickinson was certain this thing was going to be foul, but I don't think he thought about how hard that wind's blowing the other direction and kept it straight and almost caught some chalk.
We got to make that play in the stands. I mean, that's the advantage of having that seat. You're the only guy.
He chased. He's gone.
Are you suggesting that you make that play?
Oh, yeah. You don't think I make that play?
No.
You're out of your mind.
I don't.
No.
Try harder, pal.
You guys are talking about how hot it is, the dirt's quick, and now you're going to rip a guy in the stands for not picking it up?
He did.
No,
he did. I did.
This is positive reinforcement, Rob. How are you going to get better if you don't get reinforcement?
KP, that guy had literally the same beard you have. I mean, the
beard?
Yeah, look.
Just want to make sure there's a D on the end of that.
Same beard.
And you're dogging him.
I'm not dogging him. I'm just trying to help.
Needs a towel. He'd be perfect.
A couple years ago at the Little League World Series, KP and I were doing a game.
Yeah.
Foul ball right back up to the booth.
Clanked it?
No.
Oh, nailed it.
Ducked and said, did you? Did you? Like, did I what?
Oh.
Catch that? I said, yeah, I had it right here. I caught it.
So hold on. He didn't even attempt to catch it.
Attempt?
And,
no, he went over there. I mean, let's go split screen here.
That is
KP,
a good
if you have
looking
that hat and
human.
glasses.
That is a good looking human. I got to meet that guy afterwards. Compliment him on his beard, not his hands.
I feel like his beard trim's a little cleaner than yours.
Gotta tighten mine up today.
We got a white. You got glasses and a white hat up here. That is you.
Yeah, he's winning.
Good looking human.
1-0 Hill.
Anytime Braswell does something, they are going to root for him hard, and he draws the walk. Tiger fans, when they have a team in Omaha, also when they don't, but when they have a team in Omaha, they tend to take over the city. And whenever there's a competition, they'll go and win it.
They tend to finish first.
After LSU's win over Arkansas on Wednesday night, I was asking Jay Johnson what it was like, you know, how late are you staying up? He said 2:30 in the morning. Said the problem is just trying to get to the lobby of our hotel. It took me 90 minutes from the time I walked through the front door just to get to my room. Then once I'm up there, Trey Morgan, former player, was in town for the minor leagues. He says, hey, coach, I'm here to see you. He's like, you're going to have to come up here because I ain't going to be able to get back down there.
Well, the hotel we're staying at, and it's a great hotel. It's literally a walk of about 4 minutes. But when we got there, Coastal and Arizona were both in it. Obviously, Arizona left early. When there are vacancies in the hotel, and LSU is staying, it becomes an LSU hotel. It would take Jay Johnson maybe 60 minutes to get through the lobby of a hotel that's not an LSU hotel because there's so many LSU folks there. So he's got two that he really, if he wants to get to his room quick and get on the horn and maybe call a recruit, not happening at 2 hotels now. And I'm guessing more than that.
Yeah, you can file that in the category of problems that are good ones.
Yeah.
As problems go, that's one you wouldn't mind.
There it is, the mighty Hilton. Home away from home for 10 days, and they take good care of you. It is the hotel if you want to be real close.
We got 2-0 here.
Oh, Bo, shut piece. Bo is like, I'm feeling pretty good. 5-1, 6th inning. I'll pay attention if it gets tight.
Those guys don't fan too. Bo's living right.
Curiel wasn't allowed to bring Bo on campus this last year because he was living in a dorm. So it's going to be a little more lively for Bo next year because they're going off campus. And guess what? Bodolino is going to go with them.
Got to get that spelling changed.
B-E-A-U-X, currently just like Bo Jackson. Is that like a legal thing you have to go through?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Kyle would know.
Elbow fell.
In and out of the glove of Bodine. Jared Jones and Milam have 4 dogs in their living space. And the Companion Animal Alliance announced Milam will be donating $100 for every home run and extra base hit he had this season to the Baton Rouge Animal Shelter. It's a very, very cool animal-friendly team. He is gone. They will not add to it. Coastal's got to get something going. We go bottom 6. It's 5-1 Tigers. They're getting close to another title.
Somehow you can make a heart of gold from this heart of stone.
We are back, and you take a look at the score. It is 5-1 LSU. Coastal Carolina last night, they had a ton of base runners in traffic, and they couldn't punch any in. They got one. They got it early. They had a lead, but since then have fallen behind. And we'll see if they can, over the last 4 innings, get something going. How about a 167 average? And again, a lot of the credit goes to Anderson and Ianson.
Yeah, I mean, this was the formula when Jay Johnson showed up here to start this College World Series. He knew if he could win game 1 against Arkansas, he had a chance.
Center field, little late jump. Stanfield dives and he makes the play. A difficult read, but Stanfield stabs a web gem here at the World Series.
And this is that rocket where you first glance, you got to be sure that this is a ball you can charge, and then you know the wind is dancing with it a little bit too. You see Stanfield just hesitate for their little half step to the side, and then realize that ball was nose diving. You got to get to the ground and finish that one off. Nice play by the Tigers center fielder.
One of a handful of transfers that Jay Johnson went out, got, and have been impactful in center field. Ianson and Anderson had 15 starts combined with 10 or more punch-outs. And both have 4 starts where they've pitched 7 or more innings. And Anderson added to the total, obviously, with what he did yesterday.
But the script that Jay Johnson hoped would unfold throughout the course of this has gone almost to the letter.
Yeah.
Now maybe Wednesday night had a few scenes in there he didn't see coming on, but it has been a clinic here by the Tigers, especially on the pitching side of things.
On the ground, there's no chance over there at third for Braswell. Again, now back-to-back hard hits, just one to show for it. As Pato is down there at first with his first hit today. I'm glad you brought up Wednesday. The significance of that wild game was huge for LSU. That was the Jared Jones walk-off single. If LSU was forced to play the 10th inning, Johnson said that he likely would have turned to Evans to pitch in that game. Evans is available today. That was the game of inches where it just went off the glove, but they were going to make decisions that would have affected these games.
And Ianson would have been in those decisions as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he was up playing catch a little bit, then sat down, but
it may have been Ianson. It was either going to be Ianson or Evans, and it may have been Ianson that night. Good off speed.
Looks like Casey Evans is ready to go to the bullpen maybe at the end of this inning.
He's got his hiking gear on. I'm thinking you're right. One out, the 0-2.
He is spinning that breaking ball now. The shape of that breaking ball, the true 12-6, and then of course he can throw that harder slider, but the elevated fastball off of that 12-6 curveball look is just giving Coastal fits here in this ball game. See if he climbs the ladder here with that fastball.
Filthy. Looked like he may have pulled the string, and another strikeout gives him 8 in the game.
yeah, he'll get this slider on the arm side sometimes will almost, it'll remind you of a changeup because of the action that it has. It's moving away from the left-handed hitter a little bit, but has really good down at the end. And it's what makes him so different. It's not just the ability to throw 2 different breaking balls, it's to throw that on both sides of the plate.
That's a hard one there. They've been on in 14 of 15 innings, 2 for 24 with runners on.
Just haven't been able to sustain any momentum offensively. They've had their base runners.
Mijos got one up into the wind that carried out of the ballpark down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. Berkey, what makes him hard to hit?
I think you look at his splits, and it's a little less than 50% fastball. So he forces you into uncomfortable situations where you really can't predict what he's coming with. And then all the stuff is plus too. So it's a real bender, a nasty slider, and then the velocity at 95, 96. It's just hard to let it travel too deep. You know the book is that you got to look for spin because he's going to give it to you actually a little more than half the time. Yet he sneaks the heater in there with plus velocity enough too where it's hard to really sometimes buy into that scouting report because the fastball, it's real. I mean, you're talking 95, 96. So I just don't think the college hitter sees a lot of guys that have velocity and can shape the breaking ball as well as Ianson does.
Sitting on 8 strikeouts, and it's a 2-2 to Dean Mijos. He's gone. That's 9 for Anthony Ianson. Similar to Anderson last night, there is some bend, but no break. As a result, Coastal hasn't been able to break through on the scoreboard.
He's just leaning on the breaking balls today, and the slider finishes off Mijos right here. Anthony Ianson can smell the finish line right now to the 7th. It's 5-1 LSU.
The NCAA Men's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? 2 Coastal coaches, including the head coach Kevin Schnall, ejected bottom 1. Bottom 2, a solo homer. And it feels like the Chanticleers may be using some of that energy until it was tied in the 3rd, and then 4 runs on 4 hits in the 4th inning. That and the silencer, Anthony Ianson, on the mound, as the Tigers 9 outs away from an 8th College World Series title. Think about what he's done in this game and the 10 punch-outs from Cade Anderson yesterday. And that's how LSU has gone 52-15 on the season. And now it's Darren Horn on the mound for Coastal Carolina.
little different look here too for Horn. Low 3/4, almost a sidearm action. Sinker slider, going to try to work that fastball at the bottom of the zone.
24 1/3 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts. And Ethan Fry has himself a good day. Ouch. Angel didn't like the feeling of that one.
That is some late movement right there, and Bodine just flat missed it.
He's had a few of those.
Yeah.
For Ethan Fry, shoulder injury at the end of the 24 season, surgery. Jay Johnson said this guy has handled everything successfully on the ground. It's going to be the second baseman, Barthol, to throw him out. Mr. Baseball in Louisiana in 2022, back-to-back state championships for Fry. Quarterback the Rose Pine football team. Folks in Southwest Louisiana and Rose Pine in particular will not forget Ethan Fry anytime soon. He's a good man. And now the monster Milam. Ball 1. History of big hits. You can go back to the 2024 SEC tournament. Remember that home run that he had and basically got LSU into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, hard to believe that just a year ago they showed up to Hoover just fighting to get in. Then they almost won the Chapel Hill Regional, otherwise known as Chapel Thrill. Credit to Mike Monaco.
There were some walk-offs in that series, weren't there?
Sure were. The Tigers ended up kind of catching fire there down the stretch and almost advanced through that regional.
Oh.
But they went back to work in the offseason, picked up some pieces, Anthony Ianson being probably the most impactful. And you know, I'm sure they hoped he could be a real SEC weekend arm. I don't know that they quite knew they were getting a first rounder, but he certainly turned into that.
And I don't know that you could see that Anderson was going to make that big of a jump. I mean, didn't pitch a whole lot last year. Just as a freshman this year, became one of the best in the country.
Yeah, you got a left-hander that pitched primarily out of the bullpen, and a transfer from UC San Diego that's turned into one of the best duos in modern college baseball history, with the list there on top 3 in the country in strikeouts.
What's the projectable part of that? Body size, stuff? How do you look at somebody and think, you know, in a year he could take that step?
Well, we saw Anderson last year. It was pretty easy to see that it was a special fastball and a real curveball, and it didn't take a genius to figure out that's a different looking left-hander. And he could come in there and run it up to 94, 95 miles an hour. As the season unfolded, he started to have a bunch of success. And they would tell you, like, hey, we think this dude's next. Now, still got to go do it, right? They talked about all the work he put in to develop the slider and continue to refine the changeup. But it was pretty obvious early on that he had turned himself into a real ace. Of course, you got to develop from a coaching staff standpoint. They did all the things behind the scenes to make that happen.
Well, I think, maybe the point is, you know, once you get a guy, whether it's through the portal or recruiting him, is your ability to develop him.
Right.
You know, you can see all that stuff, but you still gotta take the paint and put it on the easel and then make it look like a work of art.
Nate's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Well, and I loved how Kevin Shaw was talking about the Cam Fluke story. Like, same kind of deal. Like, okay, yeah, it wasn't perfect as a freshman.
But he sort of had, and maybe
you got to coach this kid, right?
Yeah. And that's maybe the story. Yeah. There's a pretty good, healthy, long relationship between Schnall and Jay Johnson that goes back to their days when they were both out there pounding the pavement, going to different fields. He was at San Diego at the time, and Schnall was an assistant at Coastal, and they would bump into each other all the time on these recruiting trips. And because they did that, they got to know each other. They got to like each other. Johnson told a funny story that since they were in different brackets, Schnall reached out to him when they got to Omaha via text and says, "Why do your outfielders play so deep?" And he's like, "Well, wait a minute. I
don't know if I want to tell you.
I can answer that question right now."
But there's a lot of similarities between Schnall and Johnson, no doubt about it. Both of them are not afraid to turn over every stone to find an advantage, and are both relentless recruiters.
Yeah, maniacal. And I think that those are victories that they take as much pride in almost as the victories that you get on the field, because the first victory's got to be, we found him, we identified him, and turned him into something special.
Yeah. Sinker slider guy, KP. This could run right into the bat path of Jared Jones here. Watch if you throw a sinker over middle plate. This is exactly what Jared Jones is gifted at doing, getting below the baseball and elevating it.
Third in program history, Eddie Furness sits atop the list, 80 homers. Brad Cressy is second with 78. Underneath it, Barthol drifting, finding it, dropping it. Every time the ball goes up in the air, it's going to be a difficult one, and you could see Barthol fighting the wind, had it and dropped it.
So difficult. I mean, he made one of the best catches you will ever see earlier in this ball game, and coming from a shifted position, just staring into that bright sky, dealing with the wind, and right at the very end, just unable to secure that catch. Oh man, that's a heartbreaker. Fortunately for him, I don't know that Jake Brown necessarily had the gas pedal down. That could have gotten interesting if he was really busting it. Josh Jordan has to put the brakes on there.
Outside to Elise Hernandez. That ball was up in the air, guys, for 5.6 seconds. So it had the ability to be impacted by the wind for over 5 seconds. And now Hernandez will try to bring Brown in. Right there for a strike. Runaway, we got a runaway ball here. Dirt quick everywhere. You got Brown down there at third, Jones at first. And Hernandez could put a nail in it here, but no, he cannot. 8 and 9 to get him. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings still left. It's still a 5-1 game. It's been that way since the 4th. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for Coastal. The Chants need something big to happen.
What's eerily similar is in 2016, we lost game 1, 3-0. A left-hand pitcher threw a complete game shutout. Again, we've got to respond, rebound, regroup. We got Jacob Morrison pitching tomorrow. Answer the bell.
Well, the bell is ringing, and it's getting louder as we get later. Here's the silver lining. Coastal 25 and 12 in games after trailing, which is the best winning percentage in Division I, and they've done it 4 times in the tournament. The problem for them is Ionson's been really good. There are well-rested arms, including Evans, available for Jay Johnson.
You could really feel the shift change emotionally inside the Coastal dugout when Morrison got pulled. You know, early in the game, you felt like there was this energy of we got something to prove, and then after that, it's been pretty quiet down here.
Hold on, Tom, they got him, got him.
Well, a hit batter to start this inning, and yeah, Chris, I completely can see how that would happen because Morrison was so deflated when he came off. It almost permeated that dugout.
Oh boy. Here we go again, fellas.
We're going down the road of did he lean in? No. I'm going no on that.
You got no?
I got no on that. He tried to get out of the way.
I have yes on that.
I think he was in the middle of a turn. That looked like exactly what Bodine did twice last night.
LSU is challenging the hit by pitch ruling on the field.
What say you? You break the tie.
Let me look at it again. Because at first with Dickinson last night, I didn't think so. And then the more I saw, I mean, gosh, guys, I mean, at first the knee goes out, but then he turns. I'm with you. Like the first move is the one that I think is a little worrisome. But then he's turning from there. I mean, the problem I'm looking at it from the the standard that we've set here.
That I agree with.
You know, that's what's difficult to predict.
This is a big spot right here for Coastal. You get the leadoff man on, you need something offensively to happen. You're close to turning his lineup over.
The LSU fans not going to be happy if this one doesn't get overturned.
Can you imagine if they looked at every one of their 178 hit by pitches?
But it feels like all the head coaches have just decided they're going to automatically look at HBPs just because of the way they've been overturned this week.
I haven't seen a rash breakout of overturned hit by pitches like I have this week. I haven't.
After video review, the call on the field is confirmed. The batter did get hit by the pitch.
Way to go, ref.
Did you just fist pump because you were right?
No, my stomach was bothering me.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Would I fist pump that? No. I'm gonna sit here and gloat. Right call. Not a gloater. But you're right. That is a big leadoff runner. They hit 314, 7th inning or later. Sykes with a single his last time up. Say this too about Ianson, KP. It looks the same. The delivery, the stress, first inning, third inning, fifth inning, here in the 7th. It never changes.
No, he's been a really cool customer throughout this.
This one hit hard to left. Curiel back. Wall. Jumps. Gone. Just like that. Wells Sykes brings Coastal within a couple. And we got ourselves a game again.
All right. Leadoff man goes on, or gets on, and now your 9-hole man does something he hasn't done a whole lot this year, but changes his ball game with one swing.
The first couple home runs here at the Men's College World Series, right on time from two, I don't know, unlikely candidates, but clutch swings, and boy, this feels like a brand new ball game now, fellas.
I'd say unlikely. Mijos hit his 3rd. Sykes just hit his 4th of the season. Can Bodine get ready? Bends in there for strike 1. All the numbers of the comebacks and the 7th inning and the batting average after. All of a sudden, there's cheers for Coastal. Bodine golfs one to left center. Stanfield is there. What a bumpy College World Series for Caden Bodine at the plate and behind the plate.
Well, Sykes gets a hanging slider, really the first one we've seen like that from Anthony Ianson all ball game. A slider just begging to be ripped, and boy did Wells Sykes deliver a rocket into the left center field seats. Coastal pulls within 2, and now we're going to get action from the bullpen as Coastal has chased Anthony Ianson from this ball game.
The big righty who throws with hard velocity. Chase Shores is going to come in. We'll see 98 to 100 from Shores, but we'll see a rousing ovation for Anthony Ianson when he walks off the field and the mound here in Omaha. Listen to the applause. He'll leave having given up 3 runs and 7 hits. But between the two of them, awfully good. 19 strikeouts, only 1 walk for Ianson, which stands out in the ability to make sure that Coastal doesn't take advantage of base runners. They did have a bunch. Sebastian Alexander against Chase Shores. First pitch, good charge that time by Jones, not letting it hit the ground for the second time in a 1 pitch. Alexander retired.
We talked about the velocity. That's the first place you go with Chase Shores. It's a fastball that could get up north of 100 miles an hour. 99 to start right there for the 6'8" sophomore from Midland, Texas. Slider as well, and that often is the key for Shores. If he can land a slider, that fastball plays up even more. 1 pitch, 1 out after trotting out of that LSU bullpen.
5-3 ball game. Coastal needs to win to stay alive, force a game 3 tomorrow. And there is that 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Shores. Talk about projectable. 6'8", 252 with 100. Develop a second and third pitch. 0-1 to Barthel. Late.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take long for Mr. Shores to find himself in a big league bullpen.
The 0-2. He chased it. That's 101. 1 pitch ground out, 3 pitch strikeout, but it is a new ball game, KP.
Yeah, 1 swing changes it right here. Wells Sykes out of the 9-hole. Got to break a ball up in the zone. Just his 4th home run of the year, but enough to bring it back within 2.
ESPN's presentation of the Men's College World Series on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The league averaging 14.5 made threes. Games haven't been exactly close, but now you got a game 7. Look forward to seeing that one. First, this one. We're in the top of the 8th. LSU's got a 5-3 lead. Chris Stanfield looks at one a little inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Now KP, as you've said, the all-important 0 has to be put up by Coastal. And he gets the call right at the knees, does Horn.
Nice job there by Bodine. That's the one his sinker ball right-hander has to have.
And another one. Exact same spot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ianson's got them within 6 outs of another World Series title. Chris Stanfield delivered one of the big hits for the Tigers today. He had that single knocked in 2 and that 4-run 4th on a 2-2. He is gone. Really good pitching that time by Horn after falling behind 2-0.
This bullpen's been outstanding for Coastal. They've come in and held it right here, and you can see Stanfield just kind of stands up on this breaking ball. He's expecting 2-seamer, phrases him with a slider, stays over the inside part. Now back-to-back strikeouts for Horn.
When you're running 2-seamers in on the hands of right-handers and then you can front door a breaking ball, you're going to get a lot of takes that look like that.
Ball 1.
One ball, 1 strike. It's a good one here. Horn. Whoa, Bodine came out and slid right into him. I'm not sure he had a play on it.
Horn's the only one who's got a chance.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he throws Matt anyway because Dickinson got out of the box well. But the only guy in the field that has a chance to make this play is the pitcher.
And he gets his hand on it, KP, like he's about to make this play, and Bodine slides right into him. And, man, Danny Dickinson continues to put the inside game on display. He has had some really nice bunts, but I don't know why Bodine didn't give way. Pitcher's got his, he was going to miss it anyway, but maybe because again.
I think he's getting out of the way because he didn't want to get spiked.
Yeah.
Stealing second, they call interference. You can hear it right away. So the Angel Campos, you could hear it as soon as he saw the catcher get up.
That's interference right here.
Yeah, he was on that one early as Braswell
right
goes
there
over top the plate.
Yep.
Dickinson off the base. It's a big play. He had an attempt to get down to second in scoring position with just a 2-run lead. Braswell's gonna get a hit into left field, and a standing ovation from the LSU faithful. And maybe all that encouragement and the kids asking for the autographs yesterday after the game have lifted Braswell to a hit.
Good for Michael Braswell. Yep. That's I'm sure a big burden off of his back. A slider that is working towards the outer third, and Braswell, man, he stays over that one, and thanking the Lord that he finally got his first hit of the College World Series.
First hit since May 30th. And now Carrillo. 0-1, you can tell too. The crowd's a lot more engaged with just a 2-run lead instead of a 4-run lead. Here at Charles Schwab. That's outside. Bodine can't handle it. Boy, he's had so many curious plays behind the plate. Whiffing on balls, in and out of the glove. That play where he slid right into Horn.
That one almost looked like maybe he got crossed up. He got crossed up which way he wanted to catch it, that's for sure. Yep.
The 1-2. Nope, outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The middle of the order for Coastal will come up in the bottom of the 8th.
You got to tip your cap here to Darren Horn. I mean, he had made an appearance at the College World Series before getting called on today, and he has been fantastic coming in out of that bullpen.
There's his father, Rob, in amongst those, wearing the teal. That is in there. What a pitch and what a job by Darren Horn. Boy, since the 4th inning for LSU, nothing but bagels are hung on that board. All zeros. 5-3 to the bottom of the 8th. All right, fellas, we take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance, or performances in this case. It started last night. Cade Anderson had a special K performance. He K'd 10 in the game. So Cade got him off on the right foot. And today, Anthony Einson kept that foot down on the gas. Right up until the very end where he gave up the homer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. It's as good a 1-2 punch you're going to see in the country. And it's a reason why LSU has gotten to this point. Ace, and they have looked apart this weekend.
Walker Mitchell tries to get it started. And the first pitch from Big Chase Shores misses. 1-0. One base runner and a blast, and it's a whole new ball game. Mitchell 0 for 3 today. But the pitcher provides a lot of the power given Shore's velocity. And he gets that call at 99. Paint. Yep. Ooh.
Keeping it simple so far. Just grab it, throw it hard at the catcher.
Now Johnson has Case and Evans and Cooper Williams warming up. We have talked a lot about a script. The script has Evans if they led by 2 after the 6th inning, which is the current situation.
Yeah, Casey Evans is going to pitch in this game. I think the only question is when at this point.
Couple of sliders, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He goes with the fastball again at 101. And the wind may have actually increased the speed of that.
Wow. Yeah, he's throwing downhill downwind right now.
Tailwind.
And the warning track wind just dusted up. We had ourselves a little. People in the front row got dusted right there.
Sunglasses mandatory. Good battle going on here. Mitchell, another foul ball.
Just fighting to get that leadoff man on. That thing started last inning for Coastal. They were able to push 2 more across. Mitchell has fouled off some tough ones here against Shores.
They've been without their head coach since the bottom of the 1st inning. Kevin Schnall thrown out of the game for arguing and then continuing to argue. The 1-2 set up way outside. That's where it goes, and he doesn't offer. Mitchell has contributed his fair share to the hit by pitches, 30 of them this year.
This is a heck of an AB being put together here by Walker Mitchell. I mean, he is just hanging in there on everything Shores has to offer.
Walker's dad, Alan, played in the CWS for South Carolina back in 1985. Did that also play quarterback for the Gamecocks in '84, led him to a 10-win season. He is out of there on strikes. Walker's been without his dad. He passed away when he was just 8 years old, but 40 years later on Father's Day, Mitchell was playing in the same College World Series that his dad did for South Carolina. That Shores at his best, though, right there on the outside corner to pick up the strikeout.
Think his dad faced 101 that year? Probably not.
No.
That was a heck of an at-bat right there.
Yeah, the slider works as well as Pato misses.
Well, you could just see it coming with Chase Shores. It started in Hoover when you could really start to see them build their trust in his ability to handle the back end of ball games, and they have continued to give him chances. It wasn't always perfect here down the stretch. He had a rough one against Little Rock, but
he's found it.
Yeah, you see the confidence growing and the arm talent's undeniable.
That'll bump your confidence up. You're dotting 101 glove side.
Just missed. We were here a couple years ago. Remember Griff McGarry?
Oh yeah.
You're looking at another kind of Griff McGarry story here with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, Shores was pretty famous, but went through an arm injury and now is coming. He's going to be a very interesting draft because the arm strength is undeniable.
Yes, right there, a slider. He picks up another punch out. On a drooling scale, I think the scouts would be drooling quite a bit watching this right now.
Pretty good combo. And again, this is, I mean, 100, 101, that's tough enough to hit on its own. But when you have the ability to do this, and that's when the Shores has gotten so much better at that over the last few months, then that fastball plays up, and you can get swing and miss on that pitch. It's off the plate. Pretty impressive start here in the 8th. Now, Shores has struck out 3 in a row.
Now Thorndike, 2 down, bottom 8. I mean, in a vacuum, you can see how this, for LSU, could have been closer stuff. In short bursts, 101 slider. Backing up on the 2-hopper, Dickinson. And LSU 3 outs away from their 8th College World Series championship. They are starting to sense it here and in Baton Rouge, the Bayou. Are they getting ready for another Selly?
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. It's not a cliche. It's a too real and too raw sports truth. Celebration always shares its space with sorrow. Elation equaled by anguish. The dream only a few steps away from the nightmare. That's why the winners always console the losers. Because in this game, everyone is destined to spend time on both sides of a post-game picture.
Absolutely. Another great Ryan McGee essay. And that is fact. You play sports long enough, you're going to experience the agony and the ecstasy. And right now, Coastal's got to battle back against LSU. It is a 5-3 ball game. They got 2 in the 7th inning. And now they're bringing on their stopper to make sure it stays just at 5. Ryan Lynch, just a third of an inning here in Omaha. Got a save against Oregon State. But every other time that he's pitched, he hasn't given up anything.
No, these are microscopic numbers, folks. Over the course of the year, 31 innings, 35 strikeouts, a .58 ERA.
There's our guy. She's not afraid.
Confirmed it's a shirt. Revy, I know you were worried.
Fry saw that one, and that one saw the hole, and it gets through, and a leadoff single for Ethan Fry here in the top of the 9th.
So a leadoff base hit against a guy that hasn't given up a run since March 22nd, just out of the reach of Walker Mitchell. And KP, that's how your ERA gets microscopic. You go a few months without, like 3 months without giving up a run. That'll
tends to help the numbers.
That'll do some good for ERA. But he's got his hands full here. Leadoff base runner and the middle of this LSU lineup.
Tell you what helps your numbers. Ethan Fry came in hitting a .43. He's got 3 hits today. Now Milam. Milam's hit came in the 1st inning. Coastal defense has turned 56 double plays. And when you add the one they got earlier today on that 6-4-3, now 57 double plays on the season. That's a good pitch, which to the rest of the field, that's a lot. 57 double plays. It's sort of the blessing is they've done it. The curse is they've had runners on to do it.
Yeah, I think, though, that this Coastal staff has a lot more sinker slider than maybe we see in some of the power conference teams. So that's a big part of their defense. They got to be able to roll the double play.
2 errors for Coastal today. Another part of their success has been their ability not to hurt themselves. They generally play clean. Murray State, when they came, there was a clean playing team here. Outside. Do little things right. When you don't have every one of those blue chip folks coming down to Conway, South Carolina, to make sure that we don't hurt ourselves. Slider got Milam, and he is gone for the first out of the 9th.
That's what Lynch hangs his hat on, is that slider to both righties and lefties. It was what Fry hit to left for the single to lead it off. Milam just fouled one off before, and that time couldn't get a piece.
A couple of walks, a run scored, and 2 strikeouts for Jake Brown. That ball is hit pretty well on a line to center field. Sykes got a good read on it. The wind knocked it down, but he's able to stick with it. And a 105-mile-an-hour rocket ends up in the glove of Wells Sykes for the second out.
He's all smiles now. That was an uncomfortable chance out there. A ball that was dancing on him and smoked off the bat.
The crowd rises to its feet, recognizing this may be the last time they get a chance to cheer for this guy. The ballast of the LSU Tigers as position players go, Jared Jones. Hits it hard, another one to Sykes, coming in, slides and makes the play. Couple of line drive outs, sets the stage for the bottom of the 9th inning. Coastal needing a couple to keep this thing going. Mijos already with a homer today. Dooley and Sykes also a homer today. Well, the home runs for Coastal, and there haven't been many this World Series, but 2 today. Dean Mijos out of the 7th spot, just his 3rd this season. And then Wells Sykes, who was sitting on 3, hit his 4th. Those 2 runs in the 7th have made it very interesting as we begin the bottom of the 9th inning. Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, Chris Budden, Carl Ravitch. Here it is for Coastal Carolina. And LSU doesn't lose when they have 2-run lead or more into the 9th inning. 114 straight wins. You got to go back to 2022, the year before they won their 7th World Series title. They leave Shores in the game. It has been the bottom of the order for Coastal that has done the damage in this game. And all you need is 1 base runner. That's strike 1 at 101. And that is a leadoff single. Mijos took the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, waited on it, and now the tying run is set to come to the plate.
Boy, that was special right there, KP. The ability to get to the top of that fastball. That's how you draw it up as an offense. And now here we go. Here's the scenario. A knock and somebody runs one out of here. You just never know.
Credit Mijos, too. It was 3 straight fastballs on the outside part of the plate. That one got it elevated enough. He could shoot it to right, give Coastal a chance here in the 9th.
For the shortstop, Dooley.
KP, does the wind blowing out to left change the way you call this pitch sequence? Do you avoid the fastball away here?
No, you go to what your best stuff is on the mound.
Dooley's got 6 homers. Paper's blowing all over here as the wind gusts again. The 0-1. Lands another one at 99 to get ahead 0-2. There have been so many instances of strange things happening on this field late in games. Will not chase.
Ty Dooley, 6 home runs on the season. 3 of those have gone to the opposite field. So capable of maybe catching one to the backside. Question is, can he catch up to it enough to square it up at 100, 101 miles an hour?
Shores looks over at Mijos. Ready on a 1-2. Chased it. He got him swinging at 100. 2 to go. The answer to your question was no. A rising fastball from Shores. This is an interesting matchup as Wells Sykes, the right-handed hitter, comes up. He hit his first home run since April 5th. That came against Arkansas State. The last one was a low liner, which didn't get impacted too dramatically by the wind. Strike 1.
If you're right-handed hitters, you got to be looking fastball away because that Shores has lived there since he's come in against righties. He has hammered that glove side fastball.
This could be 2 and the game. Dickinson, Milam, and that's it. Tiger Town is Title Town again as the boys bring the 8th World Series title back to the Bayou. Jay Johnson becomes the quickest to win 2 World Series. He does it in a 3-year span. And the dog pile and subsequent celebration in the middle of the field for the LSU Tigers. Eight national titles, a 53-win season. The SEC has made it 6 consecutive College World Series crowns. We're going down to Chris as we take a look at this year's Capital One Tournament Most Outstanding Players.
Congratulations, boys. I want to start with you, Cade. You dreamed of wearing this jersey. You dreamed of bringing home a championship. How does the dream stack up to the reality right now?
Yeah, I mean, can't really talk right now. It's been a pleasure.
What can you say about what this guy gave you today on the mound?
He gave us a chance. That's all you can ask for. Sorry. That's all you can ask for.
What are the emotions like?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true.
Anthony, for you, last time out here, was it your best performance? What was the mindset and the emotions like when you took the mound today to send your team to a national championship?
Try not to cuss, but win this damn game right now.
On On the other side, what did this guy give you in game one?
Man, Cade Anderson, I said it already, just being himself, giving us a chance today, and I just knew when we showed up here, this is going to be the outcome.
When you look around at this group, what has made wearing the purple and gold so special for this 2025 team?
Yeah, everybody just coming together as a group and a team, just being themselves. I mean, that's what led us here, and we didn't have to change anything being here on this field.
Last one, it's for you guys both. 8 national championships for LSU, 2 in the last 3 years. What does that say about the dominance of LSU baseball?
This is the place to be. Come on now.
Yeah, I think LSU is used to this by now. It's number 8. I'm sure next year will be number 9, but just looking forward to celebrating this one with the boys, and just super proud of everyone that kind of made this happen.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh man, that is an unbelievable sight right there. Skip Bertram, who won 5. He's created this entire dynasty, and that's what it is. 2 in the last 3 years, 8 overall, trips to Omaha in half the 40 seasons, 20 times the last 40 years.
4-6-3 to finish it off, and Chase Shores got entrusted with the opportunity to close this game out, and boy, did he slam the door shut, KP.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I mean, we talk so much about Anderson Ianson, and we should. I mean, that is what allowed LSU to get to this point, save their bullpen. You could go longer with Shores today. You just trust in your eyes at that point because Shores have been so dominant. And Dickinson to Milam to Jones finishes off the 8th national title for the Tigers.
Yeah, they'll be saying that for a while. Dickinson to Milam to Jones. They'll also now etch the names Curiel, Fry, Milam, Brown, Jones, Hernandez, Stanfield, Dickinson, and Braswell into the history books. And the man who orchestrates it and has a penchant for perfection is down with KB.
Coach, as I'm standing here, you just go, wow, and keep shaking your head. What's going through that brain?
I'm just so proud. This is a team. Like, our whole motto for the year was toughen together, and that's what they did from August 26th till now. And just incredibly proud. It's only 12 returning players. It's 10 players from the transfer portal. It's 2 JC players and 10 freshmen. And that collection of talent not just became a team, but it became a family.
You had some pretty incredible performances while you were out here. We saw Cade's performance yesterday. This team was built differently than 2023. What made this group different and special to be able to hold up that trophy?
Well, don't get me wrong. There's superstars on this team. There's major leaguers on this team. The 2 guys that towed the rubber for us in this series are major leaguers. And then how about Chase Shores? What a special performance to end it. But like I said, team over me, toughened together.
Skip Bertman's here today. I think he was on the field here somewhere. A guy that really put this program on the map. I know that you guys have developed a special relationship. What's it been like to win some national championships with him out here today?
Indescribable. He's my best friend now. He's my mentor. I love you, Coach, wherever you're at.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
KB, he's in the middle of the celebration as well. Let's get a final thought back up here. KP, you start.
One, it's great to see Skip out there. Yeah, it's been a rough year. He lost his wife, and obviously is the architect of this, but it is pretty amazing the consistency of this program through different coaches, through years, through different styles of baseball. The one thing that remains is one of the greatest fan bases in all of college baseball. They showed up again today, and I got a feeling it's not going to be quiet in Baton Rouge tonight.
And hats off to Coastal Carolina. Just an incredible season, a 26-game winning streak. Back to the College World Series final for the 2nd time since 2016. So hats off to the Coastal guys, but LSU continues to be the gold standard in college baseball.
Well, the gold standard for directors is Scott Johnson, and this will be his final College World Series broadcast after 35 years. He's the Bertman for us. He has set the bar so high, and we appreciate that very much. Congratulations again to LSU, your 2025 Men's College World Series champions. Our entire crew featuring Chris Budden, Chris Burke, Kyle Peterson, and those that work during the day and night, Mike Monaco, Ben McDonald, Eduardo Perez, and Danny Wexelman. Everybody behind the scenes, thank you so much for making this such a joy. Tigers are winners. For the guys up here in the booth, KP, Chris Burke, Chris Budden. I'm Carl Ravitch saying thanks for joining us here in Omaha. Back to the Bayou with trophy number 8.
The 75th year of this event in Omaha, Nebraska.
This is the best 2 weeks in all of sports.
From the top of my head to the soles of my feet.
8 teams have reached the ultimate destination.
It's baseball heaven here.
Well struck, and it is gone!
Deep and out of here!
Go get it, young man, huh?
We are the chosen ones.
Swing and a miss! Absolutely electric! Greatness from Gage! A no-hitter!
We're on the
Louisville lives! The teal is for real. 26 in a row. LSU is on to the finals.
The agony of defeat.
LSU baseball, just unbelievable.
LSU and Coastal Carolina.
You have what it takes.
He got him. A complete game shutout for Cade Anderson. Coastal Carolina trying to save the season. Oh my goodness, he just threw Kevin Schnall out of the game.
The Tigers got it all going downhill right now, boys.